Hello YTPC, Joshua Stewart, Pipe Up North. Not sure what I'm going to be talking about tonight, but I'm sure something will rattle out of this brain of mine. We'll start out smoking my Kaywoodie filter pipe. I don't know too much about these. I'm guessing this was Kaywoodie's attempt at a Falcon type pipe. In it, got some Rattrays. Rattrays? I'll say it like a Minnesotan. Rattrays. Was that Hell of the Wynd? I believe is how it's supposed to be pronounced. This is dark-fired Kentucky, Virginia, and Perique. Bought this a month or two ago when I was kind of my dark-fired Kentucky kick, which I still enjoy dark-fired, but I've been doing the Virginias more lately. Never fails. As soon as I start videoing, Mittens hops up and I think he wants to be a internet social media star or something. But this Hell of the Wynd, pretty decent stuff. Not my favorite, I guess, as far as the dark fired based blends go, but I've only had a couple bowls out of this so far over the, I don't know what it's been, 2 or 3 months since I bought it. I know what I can talk about. Let's see, I think you got to get down, Mittens. I'm going to need both hands here. Set that down. On my tin. I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but it seemed like a good idea to me. We'll find out over time if it actually is. I like to store my tins in the tin, not in the jars, for I guess semi-long-term storage after they've been opened. And came up with this idea of putting a seal around the tin, which I'd seen, I think it was Hobbiton Piper, but he did that for his more long-term cellaring, used some like medical grade tape or something. I think it was him. I could be wrong. But I was thinking about it, well, something that maybe isn't quite so permanent. I got thinking, well, rubber bands. But then, you know, rubber bands aren't big enough. Then I got thinking like the ones on broccoli. So I did a little bit of looking and found these. I think they're considered like a number 94 rubber band. The idea is just put them around. They're kind of a pain the first time you put them on, but then after that, all I do is I just roll it off the lip, or the rim, or whatever we call it there. And I can open up the tin. Now, I don't know how this is actually going to work long term if I open a tin and, you know, If I'm only taking a bowl a month out of here, it's going to last me quite a while. But we'll see. Tried it on some of the mittens. Just stay down right now. Oh, now you're giving me the evil eye. Tried on some of the square tins too, but I don't think you're going to get quite the level of sealing. I don't know if you can see, but there's a noticeable gap there, so I don't think it's doing much good on the rectangular tins. The smaller ones like the HH and the capstan and stuff, I think there's a little bit better shot of sealing, but it's still, I think they still have to be jarred up to be properly sealed. But I think, I don't know, it was like $8 or something for 50 of those rubber bands. On Amazon anyway. Or was it eBay? I don't remember. Bought some smaller ones first. I think it was the number 92s. I could be wrong on my numbers here, but with the understanding that they would stretch, but by the time they stretch, they get too narrow and they don't really seal as good. So I got some that were a little bit bigger. I don't know if he's watching or not, but I'm going to give a shout out to one of my subscribers that I met last weekend, last Friday. My daughter, she's in her final semester of college for her bachelor's degree. And she mentioned to some of her friends that I had a YouTube channel, so I guess a bunch of them subscribed. And this is probably a month after I started the channel. And one of them, at my daughter's event last week, one of her friends came up to me afterwards by the name of Malachi, so shout out to Malachi. He came up to me and said hi, and that he watches some of my videos and subscribed and stuff. So I don't think he actually smokes a pipe, but in fact, I'm not sure if he's legal age yet or not to smoke a pipe, but probably pretty close. In fact, I'm not sure what legal age is. Is it 21 for the entire US now, or is it still 18? Or I remember a few years ago, in Minnesota anyway, when the vaping stuff was starting to get really big, especially among high school kids, there was a push to put some more restrictions on. There was a push to go to 21, and they were putting it on like the cities and counties to actually enact the ordinances. I remember at the time our municipality, town, city, whatever you want to call it, they did pass an ordinance where you had to be 21 to buy tobacco or vape products. but you could still consume them if you were 18 or older. Then I think shortly after that the state made it 21 for everything, and I don't know if that's 21 to buy or 21 to consume or what, but which some may disagree, but I'm of the opinion if you're old enough to fight and die for your country, you're old enough to have tobacco. But and it's not really anything that is going to affect me or my family personally, because you know, all my kids are pretty adamant anti-smokers, so that was one of the events last weekend. Like I said, I've been busy and put, I don't remember how many hundreds of miles last weekend, and I'll probably put on another 500 this weekend, because we're going back to my hometown for my aunt's funeral. That'll be in tomorrow, I believe. Yeah. So it'll be nice to see some of my other relatives that are coming from out of state and that I don't get to see too often. And then I'm going to go kind of the opposite direction and go up north. I might go up north. I'm not 100% sure yet, and do a few things up there. One of them is I got a new toy that I want to play with. I mean tool that I'm going to use. Because as I've mentioned before, our plan eventually is to build a cabin, like a 1 or 2 room cabin, then eventually a actual, probably a 2 or 3 bedroom home. And then some outbuildings. I'd like to build the cabin, the small cabin. Thinking we're probably going to do like a timber frame, beam, post and beam, or whatever you call it, with some traditional joinery. And there's sawmills all over the place that I can buy beams at, but I don't like to do things the easy way. Being I got a bunch of acres of woods, thought it'd be nice to have a sawmill, but sawmills are thousands and thousands of dollars, and for something I might only use a couple times a year, it's hard to spend that kind of money. So I went the cheap way and I got a chainsaw milling set up. Kind of like the, I don't know, a lot of you probably aren't familiar with them, but they call them an Alaskan mill. I mean, it's a generic knockoff. that I got. Basically, it mounts a chainsaw to this fixture, and then it just go along the logs, and you can cut out your slabs or beams or whatever you're going to do. But that wasn't too expensive. But when I was doing some research, the chainsaws that I had were not powerful enough to run through any kind of serious logs. So I ordered another. As much as I hate to order Chinese stuff, if it's something I'm not using every day, it's just hard to justify. So I bought a 92cc Chinese chainsaw. And it's supposedly a clone of a steel. It was a MS660 or something like that. But by the time you get the power head and the bar and the chain and everything, it's getting close to $2,000 for the steel, which is not money I want to spend on a chainsaw to use a couple times a year. So I had these other ones on Amazon that had, like I say, pretty good reviews for a fraction of the price. And it's like, well, I got some big trees anyway that my little chainsaw isn't going to be big enough to even cut up into firewood, so had some justification there. So it came in the mail, was it Tuesday or Wednesday this week, and of course you got to put it together a little bit. Not like that's, you spend $1,500, $2,000 at a dealer, they kind of put it together for you. So which wasn't too much to put together. You put the bar on, you put the couple other pieces on, but wasn't too big a deal. Took 15-20 minutes, I suppose, to actually put it together. But then I was reading the manual to make sure I did it in the right order, and the manual, of course, is horrible Chinglish. But so anyway, got it put together and then got it assembled up with the Alaska mill fixture and fired it up and stuff. I haven't cut anything with it yet, but thinking I might go up north this weekend, cut some wood and pretend to be a lumberjack for a few hours. I have to put on my black and red flannel shirt and pretend like I know what I'm doing. Of course, if I get a chance, I'll take a video when I'm up there, if I get up there. If I don't get up there, I'll probably got a log from a tree that I cut down in the yard when I built the shop here. About a 10 or 12 foot long log that if nothing else, I can maybe try that thing and see if I can make any usable lumber. I never knew too much about chainsaws until I started doing a little bit of research on these chainsaw mills. And I got my Milwaukee electric chainsaw, and I've got two other smaller. One is a home light that I bought at Home Depot probably 20 years ago. Haven't used it a lot, but it still works good. And I got another one that's, I don't remember what size they are, 35 or 45 cc's or something like that, not real big. And they just got like a 14 or 16 inch bar, something like that. Then I got my Milwaukee 18 volt electric one, which that thing is handy. It's got probably more cutting power than that 35 or 40 cc gas chainsaw. But just the convenience of not having to mix gas or start it up, you just go and pull the trigger. And anyway, this new one that I got is a 92 cc, so it's well over double the size. And the one I ordered came with a 28 inch bar, which is huge. But supposedly it can handle up to a 42 inch bar, which is insane. But anyway, people don't come here to talk about chainsaws, and I'm still learning myself, and if I wasn't trying to learn a little bit right now, I'd probably care less about listening to someone talk about them too. So anyway, yeah, shoot, we're running long again. I was thinking I could probably keep it under 10 or 15 minutes for this one, but doesn't look like it. So anyway, probably let you go. I'll give a quick little update. The giveaway I did a few weeks ago, had the 3 prizes. First and third place were both won by people in the US. First place was Frogmore Pipester, and third place was Carolina Rose, and they've both received their winnings. And the other one was Strolling a Bowl, I believe is what he goes by. Which is in Europe, or he's in Europe, so there's been some discussions on the best way to proceed with that. And so we've got that package. Last I checked on tracking, it's in Europe now. Now how long it'll take to get to him, we'll see. But that one we actually split up into 2 packages, one with the tobacco and one with the non-tobacco stuff. So we'll see. That way, if for whatever reason Customs didn't like the tobacco and seized it, at least he'd still get some stuff. Which, it only cost a little bit more to ship it in 2 packages than 1, so I guess that's not too big a deal. Yeah, might have to have some of this Rattray's Hell of the Wynd. Might not have to wait a month or 2 before I have it again. It's not too bad. So anyway, so much for the 10 or 15 minute video. I think we'll call it here, and maybe see if I can get another little video in this weekend. Otherwise, should be able to get one out for Tobacco Tin Tuesday, Codger and Corn Cob and Tobacco Tin Tuesday. So with that, I'll let you all go. This is Joshua Stewart, Pipe Up North. Have a good day.